Every Dynamax boss is coming back during this event to get ready for Eternatus Max battles, which are coming this weekend during the GoFest Max finale. This is the Dark Skies event, the event leading up to GoFest. So let's talk about everything you need to know. So this event is August 18th, 10 a.m. to August 23rd, 10 a.m. your local time. So the 5 days before GoFest Max finale. While the event bonuses of max particle collection limit will be increased, unsure how much at the moment. Power spots will be more active than usual, so meaning more power spots will be available in game, and power spots will refresh more frequently. We don't have an exact number, but it'll either be 30 minutes or every hour they will refresh. The daily remote raid limit will also be increased to 30 this whole week, meaning you can do 30 remote raids every single day. Price hasn't changed, but you can obviously use these to do Dynamax battles or to do more raids during the week. So this event is bringing back every Dynamax boss, and they're going to be rotating every single day. With on Monday, you have the tier 1 max battles of Dynamax Squirtle, Caterpie, Ghastly, Krabby, Trubbish, Sobble, and Hatena. 2-star max battles for Dynamax Shuckle, 3-star max battles for Dynamax Sableye and Beldum, 5-star max battles for Dynamax Latios and Latias. Then Tuesday to Wednesday, you will have the 1-star max battles of Dynamax Charmander, Aubonite, Kabuto, Pidove, Drillbur, Rookidee, and Scorbunny. 3-star max battles for Cryogonal, 4-star max battles for Dynamax Toxtricity in both the amped and low-key form, and 5-star max battles for Dynamax Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Then Thursday to Friday, you will have the 1-star max battles of Dynamax Bulbasaur, Grookey, Squavit, Wooloo, 2-star max battles of Machop, Wailmer, and Darumaka, 3-star max battles of Chansey, Passimian, and Phalanx, and 5-star max battles of Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. The 1-star raids during the event will be Sinistea, the 3-star raids will be Galarian, Farfetch'd, and Weezing, and the 5-star raids will also be rotating between 2 Pokemon. From Monday to Wednesday, you will have both Zacian and Zamazenta in their Hero of Many Battles form, so their regular forms in raids. Then on Thursday, you will only have Zacian in the Hero of Many Battles form. On Friday, you will only have Zamazenta in the Hero of Many Battles form. However, there will be 2 special raid hours during this event where you can get the Crown forms and Crown Energy. That's going to be Thursday, August 21st from 6 to 7 p.m. Crown Zacian will be in raid hour, with every single gym hosting one of these raids refreshing every 30 minutes. And then on Friday, August 22nd from 6 to 7 p.m., Crown Shield Zamazenta will be in the raid hour. So you can only really raid the regular forms of them except during these 2 raid hours during the event or during the GoFest Max finale this weekend. Okay, the big one, the GoFest Max finale Go Pass is being debuted during this event, and this is the pass that will get you the encounter with Eternatus. It'll be available from Monday, August 18th to Sunday, August 24th. However, from Monday to Friday, there will be a daily go point limit, meaning you can only get so far in the pass. Then on Saturday and Sunday, there will be no limit. So my guess is that we will not be able to get Eternatus until the weekend. Also, based on the teaser, it looks like this might be a 60 rank long research, not a 100 rank long research, which is nice because the Go Passes are usually 100 ranks, so this is a little easier to complete. There's going to be a free track and a paid track. The free track will obviously get you that encounter with Eternatus at the end and a bunch of extra stuff. However, if you do buy the deluxe track, you'll get an Eternatus avatar item, additional encounters with even more Pokemon, additional candy, including Eternatus candy and XL candy, additional max particles, and also you'll get the bonus of increased shiny odds on shiny Dynamax Pokemon found in tier 1 through tier 4 Dynamax battles. So you will buy yourself shiny boost if you buy the deluxe track. However, remember, you do not need the deluxe track to get your encounter with Eternatus. Eternatus is available for the free track, and this Pokemon will come with its new signature move, Dynamax Cannon. I'll have a tips video more about Eternatus and talking more about that Pokemon in the GoFest Max finale event tips, but this Pokemon is going to be strong because Dynamax Cannon has an adventure effect which will boost the damage of your max attacks in max battles. Also, there will be different bonus milestones for completing the Go Pass, with different tiers getting you different bonuses. If you get to tier 1, not sure how far you have to go, but I'm guessing it's 20 ranks, you'll have a powered up version of Behemoth Blade and Behemoth Bash adventure effects from Zacian and Zamazenta, and you'll get additional max particles from power spots. Tier 2, you'll get even a more powerful version of Behemoth Bash and Behemoth Blade, and there'll be increased chance for wild encounters near power spots, so there'll be more Pokemon spawns around power spots. And then tier 3, you'll have the strongest version of Behemoth Bash and Behemoth Blade, and you will get additional rewards from max Pokemon placed at power spots. Oh my god, there's a lot going down during the event because it's not over. The free timed research will also be available during this event, getting you Zacian and Zamazenta candies and encounter with a Grookey, Scorbunny, or a Sobble. Okay, that's everything going down during the event. What are the best tips? How do we maximize? First of all, which max Pokemon should you be focusing on that are the best to hunt during this event? Because if you've never done Dynamax, this is the #1 event to just get it all done, get up to speed with it. Starting off, Dynamax Latios is going to be the top max attacker versus Eternatus Eternatus Eternax debuting this weekend. It is the best Dragon and Psychic type max attacker currently in game, so highly recommend you battle it if you did not play the Dynamax weekend for Latios. Latias is the second best option. Again, going to be strong, but not going to be as good as Latios. Both of these Pokemon, Latios and Latias, also do have Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Go, which are strong Psychic and Dragon type attackers in Pokemon Go, so highly recommend you do Dynamax battles for them. Dynamax Zapdos is returning, which is the top non-Gigantamax Electro-type max attacker in Pokemon Go, so if you're not including Gigantamax Toxtricity, this is very strong. And Raikou is the second top non-Gigantamax attacker, so another really strong Electro-type if you want to grab it. As far as non-legendary Pokemon, easier for the vast majority of people to take on if you don't have people, start with Dynamax Squirtle, evolving into Dynamax Blastoise, which is a solid tank Pokemon for the Dynamax role, especially against Fire-type max bosses. Dynamax Ghastly evolves into Dynamax Gengar, the top non-Gigantamax Ghost Max attacker. Obviously, Gigantamax Gengar is better, but this is good if you don't have it. Gengar also does have a Mega Evolution, so you can grab it and then Mega Evolve your Dynamax Gengars. Dynamax Beldum evolves into Dynamax Metagross, which is a great max attacker and tank Pokemon for the Steel and the Psychic typing. Metagross also does have a Mega form that might come to Pokemon Go in the future, so this is your chance to prep through it to the Dynamax battles. It's going to be a great tank against Eternamax Eternatus this weekend as well, and you can also use its Psychic type moves to take on that Pokemon, so a good one to grab. Dynamax Sobble evolves into Dynamax Inteleon, which is the top non-Gigantamax water type attacker in Pokemon Go. Again, obviously Gigantamax Inteleon is better, but if you don't have it, this is a good grab. Also, when Sobble does get a future community day, you can hold on to them and evolve them to get Hydro Cannon. Dynamax Hatena evolves into Dynamax Hatterene, currently the only fairy type max attacker in Pokemon Go, good against dark type max bosses like Sableye. I'm outing Sableye right now, but still, that's the Pokemon you want to use against Sableye. Dynamax Omanyte evolves into Dynamax Omastar, which if you give it an Elite TM to give it a rock move, it's currently the only rock type max attacker in Pokemon Go. This is a top counter against Gigantamax Butterfree, Gigantamax Charizard, and there's plenty of Pokemon that are weak to rock. Rock is one of the best offensive typings in Pokemon because there's so many legendaries and strong Pokemon weak to it. Dynamax Drillbur is also available. Evolve that into Dynamax Excadrill, a solid max attacker and tank Pokemon in different situations. Good against things like Gigantamax Toxtricity, for example, will be good against Gigantamax Sandaconda, Gigantamax Garbodor, different things like that. Dynamax Rookidee evolves into Dynamax Corviknight, which is an amazing tank Pokemon against certain max Pokemon. Going to be good against things like Gigantamax Rillaboom, Gigantamax Venusaur, Gigantamax Butterfree, things that can't really hit a steel and flying type Pokemon. Dynamax Machop evolves into Dynamax Machamp, one of the best non-Gigantamax fighting types. Again, Gigantamax Machamp is better. However, this is one of the most available budget Pokemon. Dynamax Urshifu is technically better than this, but again, Dynamax Machamp, so easy to get, so easy to power up. So if you need a Dynamax Pokemon that's a fighting type on your team, grab it. Dynamax Chansey is one of the best ones to get because Dynamax Blissey is hands down the best overall tank Pokemon for max battles. It can take so many hits. It has great moveset. Additionally, both Chansey and Blissey are good gym defenders in Pokemon Go. Dynamax Darumaka, which evolves into Dynamax Darmanitan, currently the top non-Gigantamax fire type attacker in Pokemon Go, good against things like Gigantamax Rillaboom, Gigantamax Venusaur. Dynamax Grookey evolves into Dynamax Rillaboom, currently the best non-Gigantamax grass type attacker in Pokemon Go. Going to be very useful against things like Gigantamax Blastoise, Lapras, Kingler, and Inteleon, which are all available this weekend. Rillaboom is also a good grass type attacker in Pokemon Go, so you can get a double use for that. As far as the best raid bosses to focus on during this event, honestly, I would not focus on any of the 1s or the 3 stars unless you want an antique form of Sinistea, which is a rare form of Sinistea, which costs 400 candies to evolve and visually is a little bit different, I think. I would focus on Zacian and Zamazenta if you missed out on them during the original Go Fest. This is your chance to grab yourself a good IV. Crown Sword Zacian and Crown Sword Zamazenta are the top steel type attackers in Pokemon Go. I think they're like number 1 and 2. And also both these Pokemon are top meta in the Master League, with Zamazenta being number 1 and Zacian being number 2 ranked. Also, these Pokemon are amazing in max battle, so highly recommend you try to get yourself a good IV one. Now, you can obviously hunt during the week to try to get a good IV one and then use your fusion energy you might have, or you can wait until their raid hours because then you'll be getting a little more out of raiding them because you'll also get the crown energy. So it's up to you how many raid passes you have. If you have limited ones, I would just play the raid hours, but if you have a lot and you really want the hundo, then just go for it over the week. Okay, Eternamax Eternatus is coming this weekend, and the reason this event is happening is so you can prep for it and have the right Pokemon. So what are the best Pokemon to use against it this weekend that you should be slowly powering up their max moves, powering up, catching all that stuff with all the max particles we're going to get this week? Okay, the best counters for Eternamax Max Eternatus are going to be Dynamax Latios, Dynamax Metagross, Dynamax Excadrill, and Dynamax Hatterene. The top tank Pokemon will be Crown Sword Zacian, Crown Sword Zamazenta, Dynamax Blissey, and Dynamax Metagross. So I would focus on all of those this week if you want to focus on preparing for the Eternamax Eternatus battles. However, we also have every single Gigantamax Pokemon returning in max battles this week. So here are the best counters for every Gigantamax Pokemon that you might want to consider powering up. Gigantamax Charizard is returning, in which Gigantamax Inteleon, Dynamax Omastar, Gigantamax Kingler are the best attackers, and Dynamax Blissey, Omastar, and Dynamax Kabutops are the best tanks. By the way, if I ever mention a Pokemon that's a Gigantamax and has a Dynamax form, that's going to be also very good if you don't have the Gigantamax. Gigantamax Blastoise, the best attackers will be Gigantamax Rillaboom, Gigantamax Toxtricity, and Gigantamax Venusaur. The best tanks will be Dynamax Blissey, Crown Sword Zamazenta, and Gigantamax Lapras. Gigantamax Butterfree, the best attackers will be Dynamax Omastar, Gigantamax Cinderace, Gigantamax Toxtricity, and the best tanks will be Crown Zacian, Crown Zamazenta, and Dynamax Corviknight. Gigantamax Machamp, the best attackers will be Dynamax Latios, Dynamax Metagross, and Dynamax Moltres, and the best tanks will be Dynamax Blissey, Crown Sword Zacian, and Crown Sword Zamazenta. You can also use Gigantamax or Dynamax Gengar if Machamp only has fighting moves as a tank. Gigantamax Gengar, the best attackers will be Gigantamax Gengar, Dynamax Latios, and Dynamax Gengar. The top tanks will be Dynamax Blissey, Crown Zamazenta, and Crown Sword Zacian. Gigantamax Kingler, the best attackers will be Gigantamax Rillaboom, Gigantamax Toxtricity, and Gigantamax Venusaur, and the best tanks will be Dynamax Blissey, Gigantamax Lapras, and Crown Sword Zamazenta. Gigantamax Lapras, the best attackers will be Gigantamax Rillaboom, Gigantamax Machamp, and Gigantamax Toxtricity, and the best tanks will be Dynamax Blissey, GMAX Lapras, and Crown Sword Zamazenta. Gigantamax Snorlax, the best attackers will be Gigantamax Machamp, Dynamax Urshifu in both forms, or Dynamax Machamp, and the top tanks will be Dynamax Blissey, Dynamax Corviknight, and Crown Sword Zamazenta. Gigantamax Rillaboom, the top attackers will be Gigantamax Cinderace, Gigantamax Charizard, or Dynamax Darmanitan, and the best tanks will be Dynamax Corviknight, Dynamax Blissey, and Gigantamax/Dynamax Charizard. Gigantamax Cinderace, the best attackers will be Gigantamax Inteleon, Gigantamax Kingler, and Dynamax Inteleon, and the best tanks will be Dynamax Latios, Latias, and Dynamax Blissey. Gigantamax Inteleon, the best attackers will be Gigantamax Rillaboom, Gigantamax Toxtricity, and Gigantamax Venusaur, and the best tanks will be Dynamax Blissey, Gigantamax Snorlax, and Gigantamax Lapras. Gigantamax Toxtricity, the best attackers will be Dynamax Excadrill, Gigantamax Kingler, and Dynamax Kabutops, and the best tanks will be Dynamax Latios, Latias, or Dynamax Blissey. So as you can see, there's a lot of different names that are being repeated there, and that's going to show you what are the best Pokemon you should be focused on max battling this weekend. However, to max out all these Pokemon, you need candy. So here are the best candy tips to follow. First of all, use pineapple berries or silver pineapples on any Dynamaxes you catch during this week. Pineapples will double your catch candy, silvers will 2.34 times your catch candy. Also, Mega Evolve a Pokemon. When you have a Mega active, you get more candy, XP, and XL candy for catching Pokemon that's the same type as that Mega. Because there are so many different max battle bosses, I would really Mega Evolve a specific Mega for the Pokemon you're hunting. For example, if you're battling Dynamax Latios and Latiasis, use a Dragon or Psychic Mega. If you're battling a Dynamax Kanto Bird, Mega a Flying type. A Dynamax Johto Beast, use Primal Kyogre. If you're raiding Zacian and Zamazenta, Mega Evolve a Fairy or a Fighting type Mega. Overall, I would highly recommend specifying the Mega you evolve for the Pokemon you're hunting. However, if you want an overall best choice, Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, and Mega Rayquaza are always the best because they actually boost 3 types compared to 2 types that the regular Megas boost. So I would go with one of those if you don't want to be switching your Mega, but if not, do that. Also, every time you trade away a Pokemon, you'll get a candy. So any Dynamax Pokemon you catch during this week, you can trade away for candy. If the distance where those 2 Pokemon were caught is between 10 and 100 kilometers, you get 25% chance of an XL candy and 2 candies. And if it's over 100 kilometers, you'll get 3 candies and a guaranteed XL candy. So trading away these Pokemon to grind candies is great. Also, to get good IVs, if you hunt a bunch of Dynamax Pokemon and your friend does that, you guys can trade them and IVs change when you trade Pokemon. So you could re-roll IVs and you could end up with some 100% IV Dynamax Pokemon by trading. Highly recommend you trade. Trading is one of the best ways to get hundos. Now, it's only 1 week until the GoFest Max Finale event, and probably the best way to grind candies this week is going to be stationing Pokemon at power spots. So many people are going to be doing max battles, which means every time they take on a max battle in which you're stationed at that power spot, not only are they going to get a damage boost, but every time they defeat that max boss, you're going to get candies for the Pokemon you dropped in. Highly recommend you drop in, rare Gigantamax Pokemon, legendary Dynamax Pokemon, anything you want to grind more candies for. There's also a bonus we're getting on tier 3 of the Go Pass that you're going to be getting more candies or more bonus for dropping Pokemon at power spots. I don't know if we'll unlock that during this week because again, it's going to be capped, but if it's not capped, you could take advantage of that. Now you need 35 platinum medals, go from level 48 to 49 Pokemon Go, which one should we work on during this event? Obviously, all the types of medals here at the bottom, great to work on. Any of these you haven't completed, do Dynamax battles for that type of Pokemon. If you do a bunch of legendary raids for Zacian and Zamazenta, you'll work on your Battle Legend medal, and you can double this by working on your Rising Star Duel medal by doing raids with a friend. Finally, anytime you see a showcase in Pokemon Go, drop into it to win your Showcase Star medal, win 100 Pokestop showcases in Pokemon Go. I'm actually up to 14 now. I'm the worst at showcases, but always drop into the rural showcases. I live in a city, so it's hard for me to win showcases, but if you drop into the ones outside the city, there'll be a higher chance you win because less competition. Now, during this event, I highly recommend you have either 2 adventure effects active. Number 1, Ice Burn or Free Shock adventure effect. These adventure effects will give you a 1.5 times catch multiplier for Ice Burn and a 1.25 for Free Shock. If you're trying to catch Dynamax legendary Pokemon or any Dynamax Pokemon during this event, you want to use Pineapple Berries to get more candies for them. And this is going to allow you to catch legendaries on Pineapple Berries so you can get more candies because you're going to have a catch multiplier. It's also just going to make it easier to catch Pokemon overall. If you'd rather just churn through max battles, highly recommend you have either Behemoth Blade or Behemoth Bash adventure effect active, giving you a 5% attack boost in max battles or 5% defense boost, depending on which one you do. Also, during this event, there is a bonus in which these adventure effects are going to be more powerful if you unlock the higher tiers of the Go Pass, so they can be very, very handy if you want to churn through or if you're struggling to take down max battles during this event. Also, in this event, Ralt Spotlight Hour, August 19th, 6 to 7 p.m. has the bonus of 2 times catch candy. If you don't know, Gardevoir and Gallade in Pokemon Go, Gallade can only be evolved if Kirlia is a male. Both have Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Go and are top attackers. So if you don't have this Mega, play this mini Spotlight Hour where Ralts will be spawning everywhere. Gardevoir is also a good Fairy type attacker as is, and a good Psychic type attacker in the base form. But what you can do with this event is you can actually take on max battles because there's going to be the bonus of double catch candy. So during this event, not focusing on the Raltses and actually doing a bunch of like legendary max battles or other max battles, you can take advantage of the double catch candy on catching the max battle Pokemon. Now, to evolve Kubfu into Rapid Strike Urshifu or Single Strike Urshifu, it needs to be your buddy and you need to defeat 30 water types or dark type Pokemon in max battles or raids. They're going to be available in the max battles. Things like Dynamax Sableye, for example, is going to be available to take on. Bisharp into King Gambit needs to be your buddy and you defeat 15 dark or steel type Pokemon in raids. And of course, the crowned raid hours are going to have these steel types of Crown Sword, Zacian, and Zamazenta. Finally, Hisuian Quillfish and Galarian Yamask. To evolve those, they need to be your buddy and you need to win 10 raids. So if you're going to do Zacian and Zamazenta raids, this is the time to do it. Now, remember to take advantage of collecting max particles in the correct order during this event, and it's more important than ever. If you don't know, there is a max particle collection limit in which you can only collect 800 max particles per day. It's going to be increased during this event. There's also a limit on how much you can store in your storage. Whatever that limit ends up getting increased to, it is a soft cap, meaning if you get as close to the limit as you can, for example, 100 max particles away from the limit, and then you collect, for example, by walking 2 kilometers, your 300 max particles, you're going to collect an extra 200 max particles for the day because it's not just going to cap at 800. So every single day, whatever the limit ends up being, I highly recommend you collect as close to the limit as you can and then walk your 2 kilometers and collect your 300 max particles. That's an extra 200 max particles every single day, which is almost an extra max battle every single day. Also, remember to spend all your max particles every single day. Use them. If you're not going to do max battles, use them to power up max moves or whatever. Don't be wasting max particles during this event like this. They're game changers. Also, if you do want to battle a lot of Eternatuses or GMAX Pokemon this weekend, I would actually recommend though on Friday to not use your max particles. Save them until the weekend because you can hold those max particles, bring them into Saturday and use them during GoFest Max Finale. So I would probably play like the first 4 days of this event as far as max battles go. Finally, remember to attend community ambassador meetups. If you download the app Campfire and you go to the map and you sort by meetups, you look for the ones hosted by a community ambassador. You can get some free items out of attending these. By attending these meetups, you will be able to check in, and when you check in, you'll get a free timed research that will get you an item. For example, attend a meetup during Ralt Spotlight Hour on August 19th. That timed research will get you a free Super Incubator, or Raid Hour on August 21st or 22nd. That timed research from both of those will get you a free premium raid pass, which means 1 extra raid for Crown Sword Zacian or Zamazenta. Highly recommend you attend the Campfire meetups. This is the best way to play Pokemon Go and get the most out of it. Guys, watch the other video on screen if you enjoyed this one, and good luck during this weekend. Follow for more tips. Peace.